I've helped creators monetize their audience, generate over $2 million from scratch. Here's how I did it. So this video is going to be a in-depth guide, and I believe my best video so far on how to monetize an existing creator brand. So where you have like 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and like up, this video is going to be the perfect video for you to learn how to actually monetize that audience and turn it from viewership into revenue. And not only revenue, but consistent revenue that you don't have to like think about. You have to constantly micromanage, and it aligns with your brand and your vision for what you want to create. So to start this video off, I want to open your eyes to something. Right now, there are creators, coaches, and consultants with smaller audiences than you, less skilled than you, and they care about their audience way less than you, who are making 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, even multiple $1 million per month with just their organic reach. No paid advertising, no nothing. Some of them don't even have teams in place. They don't even need teams. All they need is a simple monetization system that I'm about to show you in this video. Of course, $1 million is a bit rare, especially with just organic audience, but you get the point. This is a data point from Linktree. This is like a recent Linktree data report showed us that 70% of creators with massive audiences make less than $49,000 per year. Like, these guys have hundreds of thousands of loyal followers, people who trust them, who love them, and who like what they are saying. Yet these creators are making less than a target employee. What is the problem here? Well, the problem here is that these creators, they do not have the business aspect of their business set up. They have created an art form. They're good at their skill. They're good at what they do. They can get an audience. They can grow their audience. They can nurture it. They're very personable. They're this superstar, but they don't have the necessary business acumen to actually monetize that audience. Then there's the guys who are like top 30% of Linktree creators who are like business savvy, or that have business savvy marketing teams that understands monetization behind them. Sometimes they know this stuff themselves. They probably, like, if they do, they probably had like a lot of education beforehand. They probably built a bunch of businesses beforehand, and they know what they're working with. But more often than not, the creator is just way too overwhelmed with the demands of being the creator, of nurturing their audience, of being the artist, creating value, finding new ways to speak their message in order to attract the bigger audience. It is just a lot of stuff you need to do in order to be a creator, a good creator. And learning business is simply something that you do not have time for. And business in on itself is a whole different skill from just being a creator, because the way you get views is not the way you get sales. We have to be very clear on that. Otherwise we cannot make any revenue. We need to understand what makes sales, what drives sales, and what drives views. You've got so much, like in business, the skill of business. You've got so much to do in terms of like sales, marketing, operations, hiring, learning different tech softwares, optimizing them, integrating them, optimizing everything, putting out fires, fixing bottlenecks, tracking data, all of it. Like, just the past week, I've been learning a brand new software, and I don't even have to be a creator. I just do this like part-time to give some value on YouTube like this. But imagine if you're a creator who has to like consistently make value, consistently make content. It is just something you cannot afford. You know what I mean? Even just learning marketing, that shit takes a whole ass lifetime, because there's a reason why people invest so much time in it. There's a reason why internet marketing exists. It's like this direct response industry. If you've heard of it, you probably know just how big it is, just how many people, especially today, are inside of it. Today is not like that impressive in terms of like talent, but like back in the day, anyone who was in like direct response marketing, that they're a fucking badass, because it genuinely is a massive skill, and you can get pretty good at it just by kind of doing it and winging it and getting a feel for it. But do you want good marketing, or do you want a cult? Like, do you want a few sales here and there, or do you want a group of raving fans that have no choice but to watch and watch and watch and buy and buy and buy over and over again? Getting to that level of good, that's a whole different ballpark. And there's a reason, again, why so many people spend so much time on this. And you need to understand, when you give people, like when you settle for good marketing instead of great marketing, you are not just getting some sales and keeping the rest. No, bro. You are incurring a massive opportunity cost. Like the easiest way I can exemplify this for you is, imagine like 2025, right? This it's like February right now. Imagine if you had the knowledge, if you knew how, if you had someone to show you how to make the most out of 2025. Imagine how much money you are losing by not having that. The cost of not having the system in place, great marketing in place, a great business system structure in your creator brand in 2025. The cost of that is the money you could have made, is the time you could not have wasted. It is and worst of all, it is the audience that you could have monetized, but you showed them some shit that did not resonate and you lost them. You will lose audience. You will. It is genuinely very, very important that you hit the marketing like it needs to be hit. This is why we do what we do here at Profit Dynamo Agency. We need our creators to have the best marketing system. I could just sell a course. I know this stuff, I can put in a course, but I want to serve. I want to make sure that my creators get the best marketing systems, because their audiences are valuable. They are a gold mine, and they are not only a gold mine, but they are just valuable. They are people who need our help. They are creators who have trust with these people, and we need to create amazing marketing systems for them. So that's why it is so important you get this right. Now we kind of got carried away there, but yeah, let's just continue in terms of like business. So this, what I just told you about marketing, that was just one small piece of the puzzle. Now I kind of got in the weeds of things right there, because I am very, very passionate about this topic, but I want to continue this presentation here. So remember, this is just one small piece of the puzzle. This whole rant I went on about marketing, that was just one small piece of the business puzzle. So it is genuinely a monster, but it is not hopeless. And you can take your audience where you're at, with, even if you're not like the best business guy, the best business girl, the best marketing guy, sales guy, whatever, you can take your audience and monetize them to their somewhat fullest extent, at least to a acceptable extent, where it's not completely like a massive waste of a product launch. And the way you do that is by implementing what I'm about to show you in this video, this formula for successful launches that I will literally show you step by step. And this is going to be without you compromising your integrity, rinsing your audience, and appearing salesy or pushy. This is going to be completely aligned with your brand, with your integrity, and the way you want to do things. That is by creating value. This is the exact formula we've used to help monetize our creators and generate them over $2 million in revenue. And now you are getting it for free just for watching this video. Enjoy. So if you want to monetize a creator brand, you need to do these 4 things. Number 1 is you need to create an email list where you are actually going to market this. I know this pretty simple stuff, but this is something that not a lot of coaches have, and it is such a shame. They're getting like 1 million, 2 million, 500,000, all these views, but they just do not have the email list to actually nurture their audience. I'm going to talk about that here. Then you need an insanely valuable freebie. which I'm going to talk about later. You need a product catalog that is a low ticket, recurring, mid ticket, or slash and a high ticket program with different sales processes for each. And then finally, a marketing plan on how to launch it. So how you're going to do this. First off, you need to build an email list. You can do Beehive. You've got many different email softwares. You can choose between them. It doesn't really matter. But no matter who, you need to understand, no matter who you are or what your niche, email is and always will be one of the best methods for nurturing, getting closer with, and selling your audience, like, ever. And yes, I know your audience may, like, I know what you're saying, like, your audience may spend more time on Instagram or YouTube. Yes, that is correct. But these tools are top of funnel tools. Like, you use these to get people into your ecosystem. The ecosystem being the ecosystem is basically the whole business, but there's different levels of the ecosystem, right? So the front end is like top of funnel social media content. Then you also got like there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, but like you need to understand all these mediums play their different role in scaling your business and monetizing your creative brand. But you need to understand, if you expect to sell the same amount of people on Instagram as you will on email, I'm sorry, my friend, but you are very, very much mistaken. Like, 1,000 engaged email subscribers is better than 10,000 engaged followers. This is how important this is, because imagine this: you are getting this person in for a reason. They're giving you their contact information for a reason. This is basically, in their mind, like, not everyone understands internet marketing that, oh, this is a mass email. Maybe they do. Even if they do, you're still contacting them. It still feels personal. They gave you this information for a reason. They consent to getting your news, your stuff, your newsletter. It is in your newsletter. You've got a new product that is news. You tell them first. You find out first. You're my people. You are my clique. You know what I mean? And of course, this isn't 100% set in stone rule. There are like brands exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, this is massively true, and it's tried and tested and proven. And you need to think about this in the consumption environment standpoint. Like, on Instagram, you're competing with 10 other coaches and multi-million-dollar advertisers, with marketing teams, with sales teams, with follow-ups, with appointment setters, with all this shit that you gotta compete with as a one singular creator. It is extremely hard for you to get their attention properly. Like, even if you have the best marketing system in the game, the mindset they're in just does not support what you want to achieve with them, with this content. Their mindset is about scrolling, casino, right? You're pressing the button, seeing the things pop up, new things, dopamine. It is just not, even if you have the strongest marketing, it doesn't allow for optimal conversion process to take place. And there's a reason the best sales pages in advertising history remove the buttons from the top of the page or at the bottom. It is just one text file, one video sales letter, and you just have like one option: buy now. Because if we don't have that kind of feeling, if we let them out of our sales process, they go into other people's sales processes, and instead of spending their $300 with us, they spend it with someone else. Simple as that, right? We want to have our sales process a trance. We want it to be a full-on trance. We want them to be forgetting about reality. We want them to be in flow state as they are imagining the things we can do for them. Imagining the outcomes, the pictures that we paint in their minds about what we can do for them. So to get I got a little bit more in the weeds here, but long story short, set up an email list and start getting people onto it. What you post here depends on you. So you've got many options. You can rehash your IG/YouTube content and write in newsletter form. You can maybe expand on some of the topics you do in your content, maybe give some more examples, case studies, give some more detail, something exclusive to the newsletter. Or you can nurture your audience on a deeper level by providing even more value in the newsletter that's not publicly available anywhere. Your secret sauce, basically. But again, the goal here is to nurture. Once you start selling, you want to balance it. Once you launch your product, once you start actually utilizing the system that I'm showing you right now, you want to balance it out with a certain ratio of depending on where you're at with your promotion cycles. Like for your day-to-day, you can run a 70% value and 30% pitch kind of setup, right? If you're product launching, you do 30% value, 70% pitch. If you're opening cart, you spam the shit out of your email list with 100% pitch. And listen to me, if you follow this system that I'm showing you right here and you actually make your content valuable, as I'm sure you do probably, people will not have a problem with this. People will not have a problem with open cart days being 100% pitch. Because you give them so much value day to day. You give them so much value via your IG and YouTube content. You give them so much value everywhere. So when you're opening cart, if you promote a little bit more, they will not have a problem with it. Okay, but you get the idea. Get people on an email list. So how do you do that? Well, you do that with an insanely valuable freebie. That is step 2 of the process here. An insanely valuable freebie is one of the best ways to nurture your audience and warm them up for the actual product launch that we will be doing at the end of this video. In fact, we never do a product launch without warming up our creators' audiences first. Let me repeat that. We never launch a product without warming up our creators' audience. If we cold launch, it just feels like a lightning out of a clear sky, right? It just feels like, where the fuck did this come from? We don't want that. We want it to be a natural progression. You're having a conversation with your audience, you're having a conversation with your market. We want it to be a natural progression. That's how you don't appear like a salesman. That's how you create the best conversions, and that's how you keep your brand integrity in place. It's just like what every single business guru on YouTube out there tells you. Give first, then ask. And I know, you've been giving for years now, and it is fair to say that you can launch cold. But you need to understand, you've been giving, but you've not been nurturing, most likely. Even if you have been nurturing, you have not been nurturing the proper way. You have not been getting people ready for a product launch. You need to get them ready. You need to ask them out on a date before you can ask them to marry you. And you have not intentionally been pushing people further and further along the sales process and customer journey so they eventually are ready for a product launch. But don't worry, you will do that after watching this video. You will have everything you need. If you do a product launch, again, just like that, it'll feel out of place and it'll really limit your conversions. This is why we always do this. This difference will genuinely be exponential for you. I cannot stress this enough. Please create these. Don't be lazy on this. So, how do you actually craft these insanely valuable freebies? Crafting them is pretty simple. In theory, simple, but not easy. The way we do it is that we survey our creators' audience first and figure out exactly what they want. And then, you guessed it, we give it to them. And this is unlike what a lot of marketing agencies do, which is they kind of just guess. They see oh, it's like this kind of audience, so they probably want this kind of product, and it's a whole mess. And this is the product first approach, which I am not a very, very big fan of. What we like to do is a market first approach, which allows us to eliminate the guesswork and create a winning promo every single time we launch something for our creator clients. And this is without ever burning out their audience. And this is why our partnerships with our creators work so well, because while we focus on the business side of things, our creator has the free time, the mental bandwidth, and their living situation covered. So they can actually focus on their art. They don't have to worry. Just think about how much survival energy you give away. You free up. You go into creative mode, creator mode. You start creating in your life instead of being constantly in survival, like thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get through this month? Well, of course you're thinking like that if if you got like 100,000 people audience with 4.5K per month income. Like, what the hell is that, right? Uh, so while one person focuses on growing the brand, being the rock star, getting the eyeballs, their team, that is us, focuses on monetizing their stuff, hiring the right people, growing the business, and just really making this a well-oiled machine. This is why I named my company Profit Dynamo, because you are the superstar, and we are the Profit Dynamo running the show, like we are the engine behind your uh, face, basically. So let me ask you this: like, imagine if you didn't have to think about where your next paycheck is going to come from, whether or not your business is growing or dying, learning sales, learning marketing, managing day-to-day operations, hiring and training the right team, tracking every single metric, putting out constant fires, and handling administrative tasks. What would it mean for you? What would it mean for what kind of content would you be able to put out, right? How much would you be able to grow your brand? How would you feel? It's a match made in heaven. This is why our partnership works so well. So if you're like a creator with 50,000 followers or more, and you have something to teach people, and if you want this kind of automated business growth system installed in your business, so you can focus on being your creative genius, connecting deeply with your community, and consistently scaling your impact to multi-six-figure and seven figures without the endless stress, without the tedious tasks, and without the uncertainty of business management, then drop us an email at nemanja@profitsdynamo.com or simply book a call by clicking the link in the description box below. But yeah, going back to how to actually craft the freebie. So once you figure out exactly what your audience wants via what I showed you just now you have to create it, right? So you do that by finding the right problem you need to solve, outlining it, telling it to yourself, obviously, like having it in one sentence, and then outlining it step by step by step by step. Full process, A to Z manner, point A to point B. And then based on that, figuring out the right structure for your brand. And here's an example for a step-by-step process for a dating coach. So let's say we want to help someone. Let's say we're working with a male dating coach. They are teaching men how to get over their insecurities and start talking to women. Now you start with step one. I'm the coach now. I'm thinking, what can I do to make this a step-by-step manner to if someone goes through it, they get the outcome. So first they need to assess themselves and become aware of the root causes and approach anxiety, why they feel it, like what they feel. How can we do this? We can do this with journaling, we can do this with diagnostic surveys, we can do intro consultations, right? Or you also have like the option of figuring out how you helped someone else. Like one of your case studies, you probably helped someone. If you're teaching something, you probably helped someone. Take that person, turn it into a product. That's your step by step. How did you take them from? Think about the step by step you took them and how they transformed, and then you sell that transformation here. Then step two, you can do mindset shift and reframing, skill building foundations, practical dating skills, stuff like that, breathing techniques, body language, icebreakers. Then you got gradual exposure, then feedback narration, advanced communication, integration, and growth. That's like the step by step, right? Let's say you took someone through that process. Now, what we want to do is format it into a freebie product. 60 to 90-minute workshop, 5-day challenge, mini email course, free ebook, or a private community. There's many different freebies you can run, but these are the ones, and my favorite are these two right here. So the way we will run the 5-day challenge, we'll run that as an example here. So we'll transmute this right here into a 5-day challenge kind of funnel. So Day 1, identify your blocks. Day 2, mindset makeover. Day 3, skill building basics. Day 4, small steps in action. Challenge. We give them a challenge, homework. Every single day we give them homework. Then day 5, reflect and grow. Feedback iteration, blah, 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 right? This is like an example that I generated, right? And this is just an example that you can look at and transmute into your brand. So take your step-by-step, put into a 5-day structure like this. Give them homework every single day. Give them like a 10 to 15-minute session every single day. 30-minute stops. Don't do more than that. That's too crazy. You'll start to lose like viewership. But yeah, create something like this. Give them as many value, like give them as much resources as you need to get them on the path of solving the problem, get them some results. And then you need to transition over, to segue over into the product launch. Because what is the point of the freebie if it is not to sell the next step? We don't want to be giving freebies here. Yes, sure, we want to give a lot of value, but we want our product to be our sales process. This is one of the key points you must not miss out on if you want to make a profitable creator brand. Use the product as the sales process. Use your freebie as the sales process for the product catalog for the next product you have. That's why you need to plan this out, the whole thing, fully before you even launch anything. The next thing you need to do is build momentum throughout your marketing message, even before them touching the freebie and throughout the freebie. So momentum is an extremely important thing, that if you lose momentum, you will start losing sales, you'll start losing hype, you'll start losing people, viewers, and just the whole product launch will be a massive flop. And you finally, again, you need to absolutely make sure you segue into the product launch. You will murder your conversions and waste a perfectly good launch if you do not do this. Please make sure you use these 3 key points. Now, the product catalog. So low ticket, recurring, mid ticket, or high ticket. Now, based on the overall funnel architecture that you went with, you now create a product. And the simplest way to create a product, especially if you're starting out just now, is to create something low ticket or mid ticket. High ticket, it requires a lot of, like, it's an elaborate sales process. There's a lot of stuff you need to do, a lot of infrastructure you need to set up. The easiest way you can do is just set up like on Stripe, slap on a $300 price mark, create a product in Stripe, create the deliverables, and send it to people via email once they buy. And also create a sales page, of course. Like that stuff, self-explanatory. I don't want to like get into the weeds there. And also, it's a lot easier than the recurring setup, because recurring, you gotta do all this like jujitsu, like thinking about how much, what you gotta give them month by month to keep them around, retention strategies, all that management, all that shit. It's like, that's something you should look into later. It's definitely a phenomenal model, but you need to right now focus on getting money through the door so you can start getting experience in this, right? My go-to is a $300 or $500 course. A lot of people have that kind of money to pay a creator they like, so I like to go there usually with my creators. But if the creator wants to set up high ticket, we also help them do that with the sales process lined out, hiring closer, optimize process, etc., etc. Depending on your brand positioning, like this is extremely important if you want to like go with a $3,000 kind of course, which is very doable, even if you're like just starting out. But you need to understand that your brand needs to be very well positioned in order to sell a $3,000 course without a sales team. And do not overestimate this, please. Even if you have a lot of following, if you have a lot of engagement, you need to understand how your audience views you. How much time have they spent with you? Or are you just spending like a couple minutes a day with them through one video per day? Maybe per week, even worse? Or are you sending them to hour-long YouTube videos like this one? I don't know how long it's going to be, but yeah. How much time have they spent with you? Because for someone to buy, They need that 7-11-4 rule. It states something like this. You gotta like, uh, I'm not sure exactly how it went, but it was something like, you need to have like 7 hours across 11 days or something like that in order to have someone convert into your high ticket. So if you do not have that kind of time spent with people, if you do not have that kind of expert positioning brand, then you definitely don't want to charge $3,000 with just a sales page. Your conversions, like I cannot tell you how many coaches I've seen online with $3,000 programs that no one buys. The only sales they get are people from referrals. And sure, referrals are great, but bro, please set up a proper sales process. Like, you need to dial this in. And you need to be wary of where you are at and what you can charge. And how your audience sees you and how everything is positioned. If you've never built a course/program, I will definitely want you to go 300, 500, expand from there. If you don't, it can generally be pretty hard because you gotta think like, oh my god, like there's so much mindset issues. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what can I give them to justify $5,000? It's like this subconscious feeling of you like not feeling enough. It's like there's a lot of shit that goes into it. So, my best advice: start with 300 to 500 and give them something amazing, blow their mind, and then you can start like up leveling your price. The way you create these products is based on the survey you conducted earlier in this process, the survey for what your audience actually wants. You now know what exactly is their biggest desire. Now you tailor your program to acquire that desire. Same principle, point A to point B, but now you don't hold back anything. You give them as many bonuses, tools, resources they need to go from point A to point B fully, no stops. Create an amazing course here. It'll market itself. I promise you this. Like, even if you stop marketing for whatever weird reason you have, this course, if it is so amazing, so good, so quality, that you can actually, that it markets itself, it will market itself. Have people talking about this. Have people create results, people will talk. Promise you this. If you need any examples, hit me up, Nemanja at profitsdynamo.com, I believe it was. Let me see. That's what it was. Yeah, profitsdynamo.com. Or book a call by clicking the link in the description, and I'll send you some courses. I'll walk you through what a $300 to $500 course looks like. Now, here is the point A to point B step that we outlined earlier in this process, right? Here it is. Now, you want to think, what can I give these people that can give them every single one of these steps in the most powerful, life-changing way possible? Here, some examples for you. 2 to 3 video modules per step. So like awareness and assessment, like give them some 2 to 3 tools on this. You give them a journaling prompt, journal, workbook, whatever. You give them a survey. You give them, I don't know, if I would not give them a free consult because that's going to be like 3,000 consults. You do not have that time. Then you can give them like a monthly Q&A call. You can give them a checklist to go through the program in a structured way. Additional trainings, for example, these are like the dating kind of like master classes, like 90-minute trainings on specific topics they need solved. And the same process, you get this kind of like step-by-step, where is that? The survey. The same process of getting the survey, you get the mini problems, which you can create master classes on. Then you can give them downloadable cheat sheets. You can give them exclusive private community, expert interview calls, live roleplay webinars, dating do's and don'ts, script library, and never expanding content library. That's also something for expanding content library. It really depends on what your strategy is long term, and that's what you add here. But important caveat: do not give your time away here. $300 is not worth your time. The only time you should give away your time is in a group setting. And not only that, but a week by week group setting for $5,000 minimum, or 3,000, of course, 3,000 up. I would not do anything above that, below that. It will not only damage your conversions on the course, the product launch, but will also disable you from creating a high ticket program afterwards, because you will have to get rid of all your stuff, your whole product catalog, just to create this new high ticket program. This is why, like, having someone like us with you in these product launches is so valuable, because we will literally walk you through your vision for the future and show you exactly how you can get there, what you need to do, what you do not by any stretch of the imagination need to do, like something you need to avoid by every single cost, and how you can structure things in a logical manner so that you get sales throughout the whole product catalog and the whole funnel and the whole business, and not just one program. Because the game in 2025 is going to be the dollars per lead. It's not going to be how many high ticket sales you get, how many book calls you get. You need to maximize the dollars per lead, because the current game is leads are going to be more expensive than ever, and you need to the person who has more money to spend acquiring the lead, the customer, is the person who's going to win. And if we want to build you a seven-figure creator brand, we need to make sure we maximize that. So that's it on the product creation. Here's how to actually create a marketing plan and launch this thing. So last but not least, a marketing plan is the promo. So how the product we built will not just market itself, at least not to start with. You need to be very methodical with the way you hype this thing up. It has to be a gradual process that slowly reveals more as the time goes on. Also, you have to make sure, like, this is some important stuff you need to include in your marketing message. I don't know why I put it here, but yeah, I'll just read it to you. So, strong sales argument, urgency, scarcity, guarantee, social proof, authority, value proposition. You need to write out you give me $5,000, you get XYZ, and have it make sense for them. If you cannot write it down in one single sentence, you are kind of screwed. You need to be very clear in all this messaging and anything you do in this game. Your product names need to be clear. Your product name needs to imply the result, right? You need to give them a risk reversal, and you need to give them a clear call to action. Don't mess around. Don't be shy about asking for money. Ask for money. You're giving so much value in your free time. Ask for some money. It is okay. Don't worry about it. Now, how do you actually promote your program, your product launch? So, I want this to be a gradual, step-by-step journey. You need to kind of go with the flow, but also have a structured way of doing things. You need to understand what you can and cannot say in every single step of the process. So, first, I want you to have it in your mind like a conversation with a person. Imagine if you're talking to a friend, how you would be revealing something. Or imagine if you were like, I don't know what you can imagine yourself like. An artist, a Hollywood artist, right? Hollywood, goddamn. Top 100 artists, right? Billboard 100. Imagine how you would promote your new song. You probably sprinkle in a little bit here, right? You probably sprinkle in a little bit there. You gradually reveal the artwork. You gradually reveal some lyrics. You drop a sample. You tell people about it. You get on a podcast. You sing a little bit of it, right? You constantly keep dripping more and more stuff about the product launch and get people absolutely raving about the new song that you are dropping, right? That's what I want you to imagine this like. You need to be natural in this process. You need to be not salesy. You need to make it seem natural, even if it's not. It doesn't matter. It needs to seem natural. So first, you start posting social media, teasing something that's coming up. Something's coming up. Hey guys, fill out this form. I want to figure out exactly what you want. Boom. Then you follow up. Then you keep doing your regular content. Then you start posting social media about telling people to get ready, slowly unveiling what's coming. little by little, giving more and more detail about the product launch. Not product launch. First, you talk about freebie, then you talk about the product launch. Third, you start talking about the freebie. So, let's clear this up. Freebie. Third, you start talking about the freebie, how it's going to change their lives, how it's going to give them all these amazing outcomes without all the limitations that they feel. Fourth, you launch the freebie and you keep posting on social media about how amazing it's been for people to join. Create that cult effect, create that scarcity, urgency. I need to get in now. Fifth, you keep promoting it in its runtime. Create that community effect, create that cult effect. You want that hype to be at a max here, at an absolute max. Fifth, and like sixth, now you got people on your list. Your socials are brimming with excitement, and now all you have to do is drop the announcement, boom, open cart, and then have a bunch of people buy the shit out of your product. Now, you want to make sure that all your systems work well here. Everything's tested, tried, optimized. You can do this with a ClickFunnels test account where you set test mode, and then you just go with the fake credit card that they provide you there. And for the promos now, how you want to position these open cart promos. You want to hit different angles of promos, hitting the product from different angles. So if you got a dating product, here's how this is going to solve your approach anxiety. Here's how to get a girlfriend. Here's why this is the best product on the market right now. Anything you can think of, hit different angles that you think people could have in their minds. And this is going to come naturally to you, man. Like, honestly, you know your audience, you know what they want, you know what it feels like. It'll just come naturally to you. That's how you do it. Post videos purely on the product. Don't be shy about this. You can create a 90-minute video talking just about how amazing this product is going to be. A YouTube webinar on how amazing this product is. Then you answer objections in social media, in email list, posts. Like, all your posts need to like solve objections. If you hear someone saying, "Oh, this is too expensive," okay, so how much is like solving your dating life worth to you? How much is getting the girl of your dreams worth to you? Something like that. Like, answer the objections, right? FAQ emails. And also in the freebie, you will also be getting a lot of objections. Figure those out. Take those. Take inspiration. Every single product launch should be a learning experience for you and for your brand and for your team. And every single one should be more successful than the previous. Of course, sometimes they flop. That's completely fine, but you get the idea. Then you want to have FAQ emails. That's another strategy you can do. Different open cart promo strategies. Just test out all this stuff in different kind of ways, and you will have a successful product launch. I promise you that. And then one day when you finally decide to close the cart, tell everyone, hey, the 5 days are over. This is the this is depending on it, whether you want to do a limited open cart or evergreen product. So depending on what you do, you can close the cart and run again next month. This way you launch and make all this profit, or you keep it evergreen and it consistently keeps pumping you in buyers. So yeah, that was about it. Appreciate your time. And if you want to install this kind of system into your business and take your create a brand to like multi-six, 7 figures in 2025, drop me an email at themoney@profitsdynamo.com or book in a call with the link in the description box below. I think this is one of my best videos so far. I'm very proud of it. Let me know your thoughts. I'd appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and book a call. Let's talk about your business and take it to the next level. Otherwise, if you're not, I hope you at least can find a bunch of value in this video and implement it on your own. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day and 2025.